Hey guys. So turns out I'm asking all the questions here, which is kind of funny and cool. So it was great to watch your film, Nicola. It was really nice, man. And it was a touching story. And I think you really, I don't know, I think you really played it really well, man. And the way you went about it, it's a topic that's been mentioned a hell of a lot. And I think you played your cards really nicely on this one, man, personally speaking. And I was actually just wondering how come, I guess very basically starting from scratch, how did you come around to the story? Is it something you heard? Is there something you bumped into? What sort of led you to make the film, as a very broad
Oh,
idea?
I always start my ideas with very simple things. Um, this one, when my son was 2 years old, he stick his finger in every hole he saw, and I was one day when he get a little stuck. I was thinking about what happened if it was a dramatic situation. What should I do? Should I cut his finger or? And
Oh,
at that time, it was all this refugee crisis in people who were trying to come to Europe, and many people drown in the Mediterranean Sea. And I saw this little boy called Alan who was swept up to the beach by the waves, and that picture was stuck in my head for a long time. And I was thinking, I want to do something about this people who's on the run. And when my son stuck with his finger, I got all the pieces to make and write the story, because it's not so much a story about the refugee crisis. It's more about how a family try to show to be together and show the love to the children, and to see that these people are just like us. Today, it's they who run for their lives. Tomorrow, maybe it's us. I don't know. And I wanted to show that it's ordinary people who got the same problems and the same feelings that everybody has who has a family.
I think, yeah, I think it's I think you mentioned it yourself there, man. What I personally liked about your story is, like I said earlier, I feel it's a very over mentioned topic, and especially over in Greece, this gets mentioned a lot. And I think you used it merely as a backdrop, and I think that's really well played, because you didn't focus so much on the fact that a lot of people perhaps get all the very dramatic moments of the refugee crisis, which there's loads of it. And I think that's kind of an easy way out. And I think you focused on something much more basic and human, and I guess relatable, man, in many ways. And I think a lot of people don't play it that way. And I think I like that about your film. You didn't overly dramatize it, and it didn't dwell too much on all that, the whole thing with them at the end. And it's just nice and simple, man. I think that constraint and that sort of discipline you had was great. I was actually going to ask you how come, what made you decide to do it all as a one shot?
It's a good question, because it was very difficult to make the film. It took me 19 takes, and when you have so much people and you have children, it's very difficult that you have 10, 11 minutes that are perfect, because when you work with children, you never know what they what they're
Yeah.
thinking.
Definitely.
In
Wow.
one take, everything went perfect, and it was about 2 minutes left, and suddenly I saw him pull out his finger and scratch his nose and put it in again. And I was, oh my God, no. So I had a guy. The next take, I had a guy who was holding his finger
Freaking on the other side.
the other side of the truck, and
Fantastic.
he was. It was more real for him. It was like he really was stuck when somebody hold.
Yeah.
But to your question, why I made it one shot. I didn't want to interrupt the situation. I wanted us like we were there and was going like the camera and was looking what is happening here to make this connection with a dramatic situation, like we were present there to see them.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because
You saw value in kind of the real time, I guess, keeping it real time. And
yeah, and we are climbing up the track and go to the boy. So if I was thinking very much about shall I make it more conventional with cuts and more action, and then I thought, no, it's not this kind of movie. I want to make a present and that you don't think about the camera so much, because I have friends who saw the film and they told me it was very nice editing.
yeah, that's amazing.
There's no cut here. Yes, it is cut. It was a close-up in the beginning with the finger, and then no, watch it again. And then they watch it and they say, oh, it wasn't a cut. I thought it was a cut. And then I think when you forget the camera and just focus on the story, that's cinema for me.
No, it's interesting you mentioned that, man. And I think you say there's no editing, but this reminds me of that conversation that always happened when that film Victoria, the German film, came out, which was like, the one in Berlin with where it's all like a one take, super engaging film. And as you say, you're sort of at the edge of your seat the whole time. And and I think it's a one take that worked well, because you get a lot of times when one takes are used just to sort of say that you did a one take, and I think it becomes a bit sort of, a bit superfluous. But I think what interested me with what they did, which sounds, I was wondering if you sort of felt the same way, was they actually had an editor on set, which effectively was editing live, because he was saying, listen, now move there, because that's what he would have cut to had he obviously shot it in separate takes. And because a lot of people said, oh, why do you have an editor at the end of your credits? And he said, well, actually, the editor was one of the most important things I used, because he was guiding the DP on where to move on to next based on pacing that, an editor would have had normally. Do you have any editing background? Is that something you sort of, I guess, how did you cue these things and say, listen, I know to move forward there? And like, were there cueings? How did it work?
I worked with the actors for 3 weeks to find a choreography, how they should move. And when I did that, I told my photographer, you're only going to move the camera with the actors to try to hide the traveling.
The moves.
So the camera moves when an actor moves.
Yeah,
and we follow.
Yeah.
So it's like a form of editing, but I worked with the moves that the actors did in the rehearsals, and then I added the camera, and on set I so this works, this doesn't work, and then I make some changes. I shot for 1 day, and I looked at the takes at the hotel, and I said, okay, I must change this, I might add this. So it was, you can say it was like editing, but in my head.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I suspected it would be in your head. I was actually wondering, on set, did you guide along the actors during the take where, you felt like, okay, now let's move there? And Or did you feel that from just rehearsing it so many times, they sort of fell into these cues on their own without you saying anything, or how did it work?
I made some changes because how they moved back and forwards to get better perspectives in the picture. So I made some changes with the camera, and I told them, no, go this way instead, because
Okay.
you the boy, and but very small changes.
Okay.
I made much rehearsal, so they had it with them,
Gotcha.
so it was more
So
easier.
most of your changes were sort of between the takes, not so much during the take, because I
No,
assume
no,
I always not during
during
the
the
take.
take.
Okay, cool. Yeah. It's always a tricky one. Yeah.
Yeah, but
The
it was five persons on the camera and the traveling. So
right.
the plane. So it was a lot of people, and the DOP had this. He can make some more small zoom if you wanted to, or
Mm-hmm.
make.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so it
That's
was.
and you said you had how many takes? Sorry, did you end up doing? You said 17 takes.
We did 19,
19 takes, and
19, 19
that's
takes. Yeah.
okay.
And when I saw the takes afterwards, it was number 17 or 18.
Wow.
No,
So it's
number 18. So I
wow,
did
that's
one
crazy,
extra.
man.
Yeah, I think I felt it. It was number 18. And the best part with that take is that the sun,
Yeah.
that 10, 11, the 11 minutes is set.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I
So
asked if you did that many takes, man, because you hit the right time. Usually people would
yeah,
rehearse
it
all
was
day
no,
for that
it
one
was no
take.
directing. It was the nature.
Genuine. That's amazing, man. So all your
But
previous stuff,
you have to. Sorry.
all your previous takes then were obviously a lot earlier in the day, right? You must have started at like,
No,
towards the sort
I
of
did
early
it on
afternoon.
2 days. 2 days.
Oh, 2 days, right? Gotcha, man. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes
And
sense.
so the early takes were more like sunny.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. But I knew that the first takes, I should not use them. It was like a rehearsal for me.
Camera rehearsal, yeah, as well.
But
Yeah.
when I didn't have it to take number 15, my producer come up and told me, Nicolas, we don't have so much time left. Can we make a cut somewhere?
Classic. Yeah. No, that must be scary, man. It sounds like you committed to the one shot the whole way through, or were you starting to think of options?
Yeah, but this is what I love with the cinema. It's when you dare to take risks, you get amazing things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you
No, I think that's amazing. Yeah. It's great you did that. I think a lot of people might have had pressure from about take 10 where they're getting like, listen, maybe you should start thinking of having a few cuts. And then, they might have said, oh shit, we got to start doing some cuts here and there. Next thing you
yeah.
know, it's not the vision you had in your mind, and that'd be such a pity,
No,
man.
I wanted to make it in one take. It was no other option for me.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
So
You disciplined and you committed to that,
yeah,
I think a lot of people would have not.
I'm kind of cool on set. I don't
That's good.
I get angry so much sometimes.
Hey man, it's so what would you have done differently, man, if you'd done it again in retrospect? Would you have changed anything?
Uh, I think it's too early to ask me that question, because in a couple of years when I see the film, and I don't think that I could make it better.
That's great. I don't think so either. So yeah, I think
Actually, because the thing with the sun and everything, and how the boy cries in the end, and no, I think it
worked well
it
for
was.
you. You're happy.
I think so.
That's amazing. So tell me about the whole. So you've been longlisted for the Academy Awards. You've submitted it to the Academy Awards, which are changing this year from what we've been discussing. How does that feel, man? I mean, it's. Are you sort of looking forward to that, or are you trying to forget it?
No, I'm very proud to show the film to so much people who love cinema as the Academy members, and people who know cinema and appreciates good cinema. So I'm only proud and to be in this context with.
Yeah, you should be. It's
my film.
Congrats, man. That's amazing. I really hope the best of that one. But was this your first shoot in Greece, or have you shot before in Greece as well?
It was my third short in Greece.
Third short in Greece. Okay, wow. Okay,
yeah.
great. And the family, you knew them from before. You said they came from Sweden, the refugee family.
Yeah.
Were they actual refugees or actors?
Two of them were real. They were refugees. They came to Sweden as small, as young children. But two of them was born here, but they have Arabic. So I wrote the script in Swedish and then translated it to Arabic with the actors, and we choose one dialect. Do you say so? Dialect?
Yeah.
Because the Arabic has many dialects.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they had different. So we choose one, and the family flew with me to Greece, and then all the extras were from Greece, and there were real refugees who have come to Greece, and yeah.
How many people in total were you guys? What was your whole all your cast? How many people were there?
I think it was around 40 with the actors.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow! Okay.
It was
quite the.
I think.
Quite the team, man.
Babies.
And you said you shot it over the course of 2 days. You said the whole thing.
Yeah, but I made 2 days rehearsal without camera, one without the truck, and 1 day with the truck.
That's great. It's great to hear that, man. I think a lot of people don't do enough rehearsals with these things, and next thing you know, there's an expectation to sort of do the the whole to do it sort of not rehearse it and sort of get everything on camera. It's always a bit annoying for me as a DP where you don't get any rehearsals. You got to record your rehearsals. You're like, I'd love to get a few rehearsals in myself, please, especially for a one take, right? You don't want to be recording from the first one. Next thing you know, they're using take number 2. You're like, shit, man.
No. But I work that way. I like to make a lot of rehearsals and work with DOP, and I always listen to the DOP because you guys always have good ideas that I never thought of myself sometimes.
That's what we think, but yeah.
No, I like to work with people who tell me, have you thought about this? And just don't always do as I say, and they make me think. And sometimes they have right. Sometimes I have to think, no, we make it like I thought. But it's this collaboration with everybody in the team is very important for me.
No, that's great to hear, man. I think that's the beauty of filmmaking, and a lot of times it gets forgotten. It's
Yeah,
hard to take
because
credit
people,
for one thing.
no,
So
because I can't make the film by myself, and everybody is expert on his thing. So it's like a director. It's like to gather a team, a gang,
yeah,
and also
yeah,
and have a vision and say, okay, guys, let's do this. Anybody who has ideas, yes, I think like this, and I think like this. So
that's
it's
amazing. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you that is you select your team around you based on exactly that, and you then would like to trust them and not have to look over their shoulder and have one more thing to worry about as a director. And I think it's a really important. Did the remind me, your actors, they spoke Swedish, so communicating with them as a director wasn't an issue for you?
no, I spoke Swedish to the directors and Greek to the team, and
Hmm.
English to the extras. It was three languages I was
Wow.
trying when I directed, and sometimes I forgot when I go to my producer and start to speak Greek to him, and he's from Sweden. He was why are you speaking Greek with me.
Fantastic, man. I guess, yeah, that's it for me with the questions. I guess I don't want to tire our audience, but listen, man, it was, for me, it was, I really enjoyed it, and I think, again, as I said in the beginning, you played a very delicate subject the right way, and you didn't become all melodramatic. And I think for me, that's, great success. And it's, it was nice seeing a topic we might have heard before, but with a refreshing sort of view on it, and a very human, simple story. And I love how it came from a story of your own son, man. I thought that was really funny. Yeah, it's it's cool. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
anyway, so thanks for,
I'm
yeah,
very
thanks
proud.
for yeah, thanks for sharing. I hope to it's a pity we can't be all in person to watch it together with all the audience, and they
Yeah,
get to meet
that,
you and ask you all these cool questions.
yeah, because I have a more lot to say about this film. But
I'm
I'm
sure you
very
have,
happy
man.
that the people are watching it, and that they are screening it before this Oscar. Uh, so I'm very
Yeah,
proud that to show the film.
yeah, man. And listen, awesome meeting you, and best of luck with the whole Oscar thing. And it can get stressful at times, but it's a really fun ride. And either way, it doesn't matter. I think the most important thing is that you're getting to show your film, man, to a wider audience, as you say. I mean, it sounds cliche to say it, but at the end of the day, we
Yeah,
can't forget that that's the most important thing, especially with stories like this.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like that
So
too. So
yeah, good thinking. Awesome, man. Anyway, dude. So I hope everyone enjoyed the film watching this, and hope to meet everyone maybe next year, hopefully. Thank you very much.
thank you, thank you.